Greetings, folks. Greetings. Looks like we're getting a pretty good internet connection today. Getting a solid 10 megs, not dropping any frames. I'm gonna keep an eye on that, make sure it's not getting any worse. But if you're watching this in the future, please leave a like and please subscribe. It helps the channel a lot, and I would very much appreciate it. But I think we're gonna get started here. Yeah, we're looking good on our internet speed. 0 dropped frames. My mic's picking up audio. That's always nice. It's about to rain outside, I think. I'm hearing some thunder. But yeah, we're on our 126th day of I Crash, I Donate total. We are on our 6th day without crashing. 12 hours. We have made it to our 12th hour without crashing, people. That's a big milestone. That means we're starting to get back into the flow of things. I think the last 3 times I've tried to do the streaming series, I've crashed on either day 2 or day 3 because I was just going way too fast for my skill level, and I was not practiced, I wasn't warmed up, I hadn't shaken the rust off yet, and yeah, we've made it past that. We're on our 6th day, we're on our 12th hour. We seem to be a bit back into a little groove. So that's cool. That's cool. My 2 streams ago, I went to Deutschland Ring and was going fast on the Ducati for the first time. That's a pretty fast track. There's a super fast, long arcing turn, and I was able to get up to like 4th or 5th gear on that pretty comfortably. And there's a number of other quick spots throughout that whole track, and it's nice and wide. You can really open up the throttle. So, and that went well. So it was nice. That was my first time going really fast on the Ducati, and yeah, it was very manageable, very smooth. It was nice. And then 2 days ago, I went to a new track. I went to one by the mod maker, the mod author, Kalat something. I forget his last name. But that was a cool track. That was it was like a mountain road, point to point. It was about 11.5 kilometers in each direction. So it was nice and long. Oof, it was good. I did 3 hours 2 days ago. That was a nice ride. I love doing 3-hour streams. You get so much good practice. It's wonderful. I remember hearing, I think it was Canyon Chasers. He's another YouTube channel that does a lot of motorcycle content. I remember hearing him in one of his videos talking about how there's nothing better for your motorcycle skill than a 4-hour ride. Just getting out there, doing like an hour, somewhat slow warm up, and then like 2.5 hours straight riding, almost like full pace, and then you have like a 30-minute cool down at the end. But I can vouch for that. A 4-hour ride is amazing for your skill level. I'd love to get to that sort of duration of stream pretty regularly. I don't know if 4 hours is going to be regular. That's a lot of time to cut out of my days and my weeks if I'm doing this almost daily. Maybe 2 or 3. 3 is a great number though. So I'd like to do 3 hours a day. It's 5:45. Try to finish up by 9-ish. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I figured I'd go to Nurburg Ring today. I haven't done that in this particular stretch of streams, and I love that track. And it's dangerous, but I'm going to be going pretty slowly today. Casual, as it says in the title, casual track day. Not looking to break any sort of records, just trying to make it through the stream without crashing. But I love Nurburgring too much to avoid it, even though it is dangerous. So I think that's about that. I did make another adjustment to my audio filters, so I'm hoping that the audio sounds better today than it did 2 days ago. The stream from 2 days ago, it improved on the stream before, because the stream before that, the mic audio was, you could almost barely hear it over the motorcycle, and the motorcycle was way too loud. So I adjusted it 2 days ago, and then the mic audio was way too loud, and it was picking up some fan noise from down there. So I turned the fan down a little bit. Mic was way too loud. It was ruining the audio for the motorcycle. So today I sort of evened it out, and hopefully that's a little better, and yeah, we'll just get progressively better as far as that goes. So I think that's about all the updates. I say we get our helmet on and get into this ride. Okay. All right, this is going to be a big day. Nurburgring is it's a nerve-wracking track. You just can't get around it. It's a nerve-wracking track. But it's so fun. It's such a fun track. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's gonna be a slower ride today. Definitely a casual track day. That is an apt title for sure. I'll say it's a bit cold in my room. I'm sure that'll change once my ride gets started, and I've got too many nerves to pay attention to how cold I am, but it is cold, and this fan ain't helping. But the fan's necessary. Got to keep my face from sweating. Hopefully the mic's not picking it up today. Oh, there's some air. Yeah, I just found a great position for my fan. That should do fine. Hopefully my noise suppressor is muting that and not messing with my voice's audio too much, but that's all something that we're just going to have to check at the end of the stream today. So however it sounds right now, unfortunately, if it's bad, is how it's going to sound the rest of the stream. do that. Good with that, good with that. Okay, I'm good with all of that. That feels about right. Okay. That's me. There's not enough room. I don't know if I'm going to be leaning that far anyway. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I gotta figure out my wire situation. My wires, there's no real good way to put them, is there? I think I'm about good. Yeah, that's good. All right, folks, again, going to be a very slow ride, slow track day. This is a dangerous course, and I'm definitely not up to my previous skill level quite yet. So, just going to be a casual track day. Hoping to go at least 2 hours, hopefully 3. I'm also not totally used to this bike yet. I do have a little bit of high-speed experience from that Ring day that I did, but not overly used to going at high speed with this bike, so it's going to be a very gradual increase of speed throughout the stream today. Just gradually getting to know this bike at high speed more and more. Because I don't know if it's going to cut toward the inside of a corner at any point, toward those huge curbs that I definitely do not want to happen. Those huge curbs, they can kill you. Not joking. It's also been a long time since I've ridden this track on a motorcycle. I've driven it a fair amount in Assetto Corsa, so I know the track really well, but it is different on a motorcycle, and it is slightly different in this game. So that's another thing that I just need to keep myself at a slow pace for, pay attention to as I'm getting to know it better over the next few laps, getting used to it again. Something kind of funny is right before the stream, I was really sketching myself out about going to this track. I was not sure if I was ready for it or not yet today, and I may not be, but I was very unsure whether or not I was a few hours ago, and so I laid down in my bed and I was visualizing the track. What happens after this corner, and then what happens after this corner, and then what happens after this corner. Where does the camber take your bike in this corner, and where does it take you in this corner? And I was visualizing. And I went through the whole track, and it was pretty easy, and it sort of calmed my nerves a little bit. Just a funny little story, that right there. The big corner I really got to watch out for on this track that seems to catch me out more than most of the others is that it's like the first 180-degree corner right before you go under that like bridge advertisement. I forget what company it's for, but it's earlier in the track, right after that jump on the big straightaway. That's the one corner that really catches me out on this track, at least on a motorcycle. It always seems like a little bit sharper than it is in reality, so I seem to like go a little bit too far inside most of the time when I take that corner. But yeah, other than that, there's not too many that really catch me out. Should I take the carousel? Of course, of course. Missed the first half of that, but successful. Yeah, I do have a feeling this track is going to feel very differently on this bike once I start picking up the pace a little bit. I don't know, this bike is strangely unpredictable for me. It's a very, very different feel than the R1 once you really start to get its full potential. I'm a bit wary of it. I think this will be easier once I get a ghost and I'm able to follow my trainer a little bit. This corner right here also catches me out. I think I've gone a little wide on that last corner a couple times before. Came close to hitting the wall on the right side. think I also like cut a little far inside once and almost crashed over that inside curb. I don't know. That's a tough one for some reason. It's very blind. Right, here comes some speed. I wish I knew how fast I was going. Thunder comes through on the mic. It's raining outside. We should get a trainer. I think I might follow him. It's going to be a slow trainer, definitely for the first half of the lap or so, but today's going to be just a slow ride. There's no getting around it. I'm going to be very cautious on this ride today, no matter how long I go. I think I'll just focus on getting a slightly better line on this lap and then be able to follow my Ghost a little closer in the future. This is the corner. This one right here. This one has caught me out so many times. I always look a little bit too far through it and just end up cutting through the inside, and it's close. The curb on the inside of that corner is so dangerous, it's crazy. Too far inside there. See, just the tiniest mistake on this track is lean a little bit too far and your bike goes into a curb. Okay, after this lap, I'm going to pass my ghost and set a new ghost so that we have someone a little faster to follow. And then I will put my ghost the lap after that. But I'm feeling pretty warmed up, so I can start going a little bit faster. Not much faster though. I definitely do not want to get too far over my skis. So let's pass this dude pretty quick here and just set a nice, calm new lap. Gonna try to get a decent line, but I'm not overly concerned about it. Just gonna try to stick to the safe middle zone most of the time. My heart rate is going right now. Oh my gosh. This is nerve-wracking. Just being careful. Spotting my lines through my corners. Easy on the throttle, easy on the brakes, easy on the leaning. Easy on the steering. We want no unsettled bikes today. And there's some thunder going on outside. I hope my power does not go out. That would be not good. If my stream randomly crashes out of nowhere, my power went out. I hope it continues till after I'm done with stream. I'd love to chill out to a little thunderstorm later tonight. Or I could chill out to a thunderstorm while I'm riding the Nurburg Ring. I'd say that's a little best of both worlds right there. This ghost should be a little bit more fun to follow. We're going to follow this current lap ghost for the next lap and maybe even the lap after that, and then maybe I'll think about speeding up a little bit more, but honestly I'm probably not going to speed up much more fast than I'm going right now for the rest of the stream. Again, this is a extremely dangerous track, and I am not used to neither this bike nor this track, so yeah, just going to be doing slow lap times for the rest of the stream today, but hopefully getting used to a little bit faster speeds on this bike. It's definitely not as nimble as the R1. That much is clear. That much is clear to me. It's definitely not as nimble, not as flickable. But definitely a bike in its own right. It's got its own pros, definitely. The next couple laps should not be quite as nerve-wracking since I'll be following this ghost here. Have a nice little tow. Every input has to be so spot on. Oh my gosh. If you go a little bit too far with the throttle or not far enough, your bike either goes a little too far wide out into the deadly curves or a little too far inside into the deadly curves. Crazy suspenseful. It's so much more easy following a bike than trying to pick your own lines and stuff like that. It's crazy. I think I need to wait a little bit longer before I turn in on that last corner. If I remember from Assetto Corsa, I know the ideal line for cars is to wait a little bit and then hit the inside of like the second half of that corner. I don't know what it would be for a bike, but probably something similar. Frame rate's dipping a little bit. Alright, it's back to normal. Yeah, this Ghost is definitely going at a good pace for me right now, so I'm going to follow him at least another lap, probably another 2 or 3. It's just so much less nerve-wracking to have a tow with someone rather than to be trying to spot everything for myself. Be able to get that carousel right. You really need to get the right lean angle for it so that your bike doesn't dive into the middle of it. Does anybody remember Sam Bankman-Fried? What was his whole deal? I have no idea why, but his name just popped into my head right now, and I have no clue. I have no memory of who he is. I know he had something to do with cryptocurrency, maybe? I have no idea. Sam Bankman-Fried. I think he got arrested. I couldn't tell you. I just, for some reason in my mind, Sam Bankman-Fried has the same vibe as Sam Altman. I have no idea if that's actually the case in real life, if they have the same vibe. But in my mind, those two characters definitely have the same vibe. And that concludes our segment on Sam Bankman-Fried for this stream. We will not be discussing him any longer. That marks the end of the discussion, people. That's a bit of a scary corner right there. Not totally sure when to apply the throttle for the exit. There's some weird hills and camber through it. Oh my gosh, I love riding in tandem in this game. It's literally one of the best experiences in all the video games that I've ever had, is riding in tandem in VR with a gyro controller in this game. It's insane how fun it is. Just completely locked into the controls. And especially riding in tandem with all that other stuff in the streaming series where I can't crash. That makes it like 10 times as fun, dude. Oh my gosh. I love this streaming series. So much on the line, you know? It's so fun. Heart rate's starting to pick up again a little bit. Not totally sure why. Well, I do know why. I'm following this ghost really closely. And it's a little, it's exciting, but it's also a little anxiety-provoking. It's difficult. So I'm gonna back off my ghost a little bit. That was super fun though, riding that close. When my heart rate starts to pick up a little bit, I know I'm starting to get out of my comfort zone, and it's just a good way of my body telling me to just a little tad, you know. I think an ideal heart rate for this sort of thing would be like 85 to 90 or so. Any faster than that and you're starting to get a little jittery, any slower and you're not really paying attention enough, or you're not going fast enough. But I want to be just barely outside my comfort zone. If we're just barely barely outside of our comfort zone, we can hit 100 days without crashing. I know it. I know it, people. Such an odd carousel to get right. The turn-in for that is so mysterious. I don't know if I need to like cut in and sort of go downhill into the carousel, so to speak, or if I like go straight into it and make sure my bike is leaned and it'll just carry me around. I have no idea. It's a very odd corner. Yeah, this ghost is awesome. I'm gonna keep this same ghost, whoa, and do another lap following him. Maybe try to get more tandem shots in there. Man, I'm feeling good on this ride today. I'm feeling really, really good. At the end of this lap, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull into the pit, I'm going to take a little drink of water, I'm going to stretch a little bit. I think it's probably been 45 or 50 minutes since I started streaming, maybe an hour, I don't know. done like 5 or 6 laps at this point. But gonna pull into the pit, gonna take a drink of water, take a break, and then we'll come back out. I'll set a new ghost, and then I'll probably follow that new ghost for the rest of the stream. My guess is I'm probably gonna do at least another 6 laps, so another hour, but maybe more. We'll see. Yeah, that is a technical corner. Technical 3 corners right there. Those 3 right-handers. Very technical. You really have to spot your line all the way through that. I'm gonna turn in a little late for this corner, see if that helps. Go right there. Take that little lip right there, and then you get the exit. Yeah, that's how you do it. You just need a late turn in, and that fixes everything. To the outside of the track there more than I was intending. I'm starting to get a little bit more comfortable in the upper rev range on this bike. That's kind of nice. Starting to use a little bit more of the power band. Up until now, I've mainly tried to keep it in the lower revs just because that's easier to predict. But I'm starting to get used to this bike.
and I have no idea how to take that corner. I think that was the right idea, but I just went into the corner a little too deep. I think it's a late turn in, and then you sort of like dip down into the carousel. I think that's how you do it, but it's tough. Alright, I'm heading into the pits, gonna take a little break. And then on our next lap out, we're gonna set a new ghost and then follow that pasture ghost for the rest of the stream. Okay.
Wow, we're already at an hour and 20 minutes. Cool. Did not feel like it. I think I've done like 6 laps so far. That did not feel like an hour and 20 minutes. Got my light perched on my water bottle right here. I need to find a better system for it. Oh, all right. So we're at an hour and 20 minutes. That was 6 laps, I think. I'm feeling really good. I am going to head back out, finish this lap here, and then I'm going to set a new ghost. So I'll be going just on my own on the track, and then hopefully that'll be a fast enough ghost, and we'll just follow that for the rest of the stream. And I mean, no, time's flying, so maybe we'll do 3 hours today, maybe we'll do 3.5, who knows. But I'd like to go for a while longer, so let's keep going, folks. Uh-oh. Canceled something in my headset. I think I'm okay. That was kind of weird. Is my footage still okay? Yeah. All right, let's get back out there.
heart rate's jumping up again. Whenever I set a new ghost on this track, it's always so nerve-wracking. You gotta be so exact with your inputs. So, I'll be taking this lap nice and calm. Just try and make it to the end so that we can have a toe in, a toe on our next lap. So I'll be passing this guy when I can, which is right now. Yeah, my heart rate is going right now. Oh my gosh. Gonna be taking a lot of care with this lap here. I just farted. I don't know if the mic picked it up. Goodness me, my heart is racing right now. Whew. This is a nerve-wracking lap right here. I'll be glad when I can follow this ghost. This is going to be a fun ghost to follow. Wow, this is a nice lap. Very smooth so far. My heart is still racing, and it's like, it's getting faster. I think I might slow it down just a little bit. That was a weird corner. I don't know, something about my lean on that one felt really weird. That was a little dangerous. Shifting down into first gear, leaned over like that, that can really unsettle the bike if you're not careful about it. And I was not very careful about that one. Got lucky. But we're almost done with the lap, and then we can finally follow this ghost and take some of the responsibilities off of my shoulders. There we go, that's the lap. Let's bring this heart rate down a little bit. I'm a little too jittery for my liking. A little far off the road there. This is definitely a fun ghost to follow. Very flowy lines, very flowy lines. I love it. Excuse me. Excuse me. Close to my ghost there. I try to pretend like my ghost is solid. I don't actually crash into him if I could crash into him, but it's fun to pretend. There should be an option for that. There should be an option to do a solid trainer. I love the sound of this bike. It's so bassy. Oh my gosh. Wow. Wow. It sounds like a cat. It's like a predatory cat or something like that going. Sounds beautiful. Wow. Little close to the left-hand side right there. I wasn't expecting the curb to come in that quickly. Something to keep note of. That's how you take that corner right there. You gotta leave the first little bit and then you sort of drop into it and then you like shoot out the end right before you get to the end of it, I think. It's still weird, but I think that's how you do it. Lots of wheel spin. It's a good thing I've got traction control on right now. Still don't really know how to use this Ducati's throttle gracefully. So much shaking, oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a good ghost. That is a fun follow through this course. Keep this ghost for at least the next 4 or 5 laps. Very good pace. think I'm being a little bit reckless with my tandem riding right now. I was a little bit far to the right of the track back there. It's just too fun, man. Oh my gosh, I love this. Falling a little bit behind my Ghost. I noticed that when I do, I tend to try to like speed up just a little bit faster than I'm comfortable with to try to catch right back up to him. But that's definitely not the wise thing to do in most cases. It's like, you just gotta gradually try to pick up the pace and get back to him like this, or wait until the Ghost makes a little mistake and then I can get back to him. That's just a little mindset thing I have to keep track of, because, yeah, when the Ghost does get a little bit ahead, I do find myself automatically trying to speed up more than I should be. So the curb juts out a little further left than I expected to, right back at that left hander right back there. So I'm just gonna try to get a mental map of it over the next couple laps. That's how you ride that right there. Right there. Just gotta skip the very beginning and the very end of the carousel.
think I might pull into the pits at the end of this lap and just check on my gas and my tires. I'm not sure how much I got left. Doesn't feel very bad, but I'm not totally used to how quickly the tires and the gas deplete on this bike. I could go a little bit wider on the exit of that corner there. Or I could go a lot wider. What am I talking about? That was way too far inside.
little bit close to my ghost there. Yeah, that left curb always catches me. It's always a little bit further right than I feel like it's going to be. Still don't know how to take this corner. That's a wheel spin. Oh my gosh. That is insane. This bike is so powerful. Oh, I meant to go back into the pits. I'm gonna pull off up here close to the finish line. Okay, let's take a little break. Alright, we've been going about 2 hours and 10 minutes. And we've done maybe 10 laps, maybe 11, something like that. I am really liking this this current ghost pace that I'm following right now, so I'm not going to set another ghost, I don't think. But I do want to do at least 2 or 3 more laps. I'm still feeling very good today, so... Yeah, let's check our tires real quickly first, though. Ooh, our front tire is completely gone. Okay. I probably should have checked on that a little earlier. The rear tire was pretty bad as well. At least the sides of the tires were okay. That's what really matters. Fuel, we're down to 0.4 gallons, so we used 5 gallons in that 2 hours of riding. Good to know. And my guess is if I pulled into the pits at lap 8 or so,
the front tire would have been almost dead, but not totally, so that's just a good thing to keep in mind for the future. Probably 7 or 8 laps. Okay. Just make sure that locked in real quick. Not totally sure how the garage like gas reset works in this game. Alright, cool. 5.5 gallons. Yeah, we'll do 2 or 3 more laps, and then that'll probably be. I'll probably do my cooldown lap after that. Been doing 1020s. That's a good time. When I was last time I got my record days without crashing, when I was going like 60 days without crashing, I think I got down to like a 9:45 or a 9:30 on this track. That is an amazing time for me. All right, let's go. All right. Oh my gosh, I feel so much more confident on this track than I did at the beginning of the stream. Oh my goodness. I was going at a snail's pace for the first lap. I was so nervous. Better than I think I am. But not as good as I think I am other times, so it's a tough balance.
are starting to go fast on this bike, man. Starting to go a little faster. Get more revs. We're getting more revs. Got a little close to the inside of the carousel there. Not too bad though. Almost leaned a little bit too far into that corner right there. That was kind of close. Man, if you follow the camber through those two corners right there, it makes it so much easier. Wow, I never really noticed that before. There's like a clear bowl that you can like dip into to get to that right-hander. Kind of makes it easier. I feel like this bike could high side me really, really easily if I'm not careful with it. That really just clicked on me. If I'm too leaned over and just give this thing a little bit too much gas, I'm sure it would throw me a mile in the air. kind of detecting that I'm making a number of small mistakes. Like just back there, I turned a little bit too far into the corner, more than I was intending, and got kind of close to the curb. That's a good sign that I should probably stop kind of soon. So this may be my last full pace lap, and then I'll do a cool down lap after that, and I'm guessing that'll be the end of the stream. I gotta listen to myself when I start making those tiny mistakes. If they pile up, eventually, one of them will be a crash. And we've had an awesome stream so far anyway. I don't need to go too much longer. I'm sure it's already like 2.5 hours or something like that. If not longer than that. Excuse me. Let's have a good tandem lap for this last one. I'm gonna try to stick on my dude's butt. Do some formation riding. That was close on the exit. don't know if I would have run into his wheel that close in real life. That was close, though. This left curb always comes out a little further than I think. There is, I just noticed, there is a slight line in the road, like a little tar strip or something like that, and it goes like 2 feet to the right of that curb, so maybe that's a good reference point to keep myself like close to that tar line or something like that. Overcooked that a little bit. Oh, lots of thunder outside my room here. So the thunderstorm did last until the end of the stream. I was hoping it would. I'm gonna have a nice chill night tonight after stream. But that's it, people. Oh my gosh. That was extremely fun, that last lap. Whew. The tandem riding in that was amazing. But that is that. I'm going to be cooling down for this lap, and then that is the end of the stream. I am mentally exhausted right now. That was an amazing, amazing ride. That turned out way, way better than I thought it was going to. I wonder how many laps I did. I know I did at least 10. My guess is I've done, this will be my 12th or my 13th or something. This is a really, really beautifully made mod. It's so pretty. It's one of the better decorated mods in this whole game. They even got the mountains right and everything. It's so cool. Macau is a really beautiful mod. This is a really beautiful mod. Montes de Malaga is a really beautiful mod. There's not many others that are as intricately decorated as this one. It's very nice. That recent one that Kalat released, the Jouplane, and all the ones that Kalat releases are really beautiful. He's got that like really snowy mountain. That's a gorgeous mod. This is the life right here, man. I'm having so much fun doing this streaming series. Gonna take the carousel for a cool down lap. coming to the end of the lap, folks. We're down to our last few turns. Then we got the straightaway, and that will be the end of the stream. End of our cool down lap, and end of the stream. I wonder how long I did go. I want to say it's probably over 3 hours at this point. That's kind of crazy. It's literally felt like I've ridden for maybe an hour and a half today. Such a fun track, such a fun way of riding, doing it in tandem with the Ghost like that. Time flies by, man. There it is, folks. We made it to the end of the stream. And there we have it. Another stream in the bag. Another 2 hours and 45 minutes in the bag. There we go. That is a great stream. Oh my god. Oh, I've dropped a lot of frames. My internet's been bad. Dang. Dropped almost about % of my frames. Huh. I wonder if it was like really bad in any specific part, or if it's just been sort of like up and down throughout the stream. Dang, that's unfortunate. Oh, but that was a good stream. Goodness me. Did not think I would be going that fast. Oh. I wonder if there's a way to check how many laps I've done. Let's see. "12 laps. "10:20s, 10:20s, 10:20s, 11s. Yeah, 10:20. I like that time. That is a good time. Cool. Alright, folks, well, thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like and please subscribe if you enjoyed watching. I'm going to be doing this much more. Probably I'll be back on tomorrow. If not, most likely the next day. But, yeah, thank you for watching. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.